Hey everybody, this is the Mind Link Frequency. I'm here with Griffin Ryden.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, and we're about to talk about a little bit of this EP that you're working on, and then just some other stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what is this EP gonna be?
So I don't have a specific name for it, but I already have album artwork for it,
Oh, tight,
and
okay.
so I gave a name for it, and it was Sunset Affinities.
That's the name? Is
Yeah.
it like a name that you're working on, or is that the official name?
I'm kind of like locked in at this point, just
Okay.
because
The artwork's already there.
yeah, so the artwork's there, and it has like the title printed on it, so I'm kind of like stuck with it.
Oh, that's really cool. Who did you get to do the artwork?
So my good friend, childhood friend actually, Andrew Green.
Okay.
He's a
East Coast then.
Yeah, he's a visual artist. Just graduated about a year ago with a graphic design degree. Yeah, I just kind of told him the vibe I was going for, which is pretty much like the Pacific Northwest sunset. You know, Olympic mountain range in the background.
Okay.
You know, got some different gradients going, some star kind of theme stuff.
It's a whole bunch of different things going on in the artwork. And then you
Yeah.
have Sunset, what is it again?
Affinities.
Sunset Affinities.
Yeah, and
Just right there on the front.
yeah,
In front of like all the picture, the image. Or
yeah.
is it like
it's kind of
worked
tucked
in
away.
with it?
It's like tucked away in like the bottom right corner of it.
Okay.
But yeah, that just kind of comes from like the lead single that I would like for the album is called Sun Love, and so it just kind of ties into the theme with that. Because
Is that going to be like the first, or is that just going to be somewhere mixed into the EP?
I think it's going to be one of the first, just because it's the closest to being complete. You know, it's summertime right now, so I feel it's like pretty appropriate. So it's all just kind of coming together. So might as well just like front load it with that.
Have that summer vibe. What,
Yeah.
Is there a release date? Or is it more just kind of getting it done by the end of the summer or next after the summer kind of thing?
I'm trying to get it done soon, just
Okay.
because we're already. I feel like it's the middle of the summer. Just because like I'm used to the East Coast summer. Out here it's a little bit different. I feel like the summer just officially started yesterday. So
That's
I've
fair.
been told that as soon as the
I usually
Independence
think of it
Day-
as the solstice, but you
Yeah.
know, that works too.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's hot, you know. So
Yeah, I mean it's been hot for a couple months now, but yeah, I thought it was the solstice, and then someone's like, "Oh no, it's not until after the 4th." So either way, it's officially summer now. Ideally, I wanted to get it ready before the summer, just to kind of kickstart the summer off with that.
yeah, drop it right at the end of summer, basically.
Yeah, just so like I said, because everything kind of lines up with like the name, the song, the vibe, the essence of it.
Yeah. Sunset Affinities. And what was the main song? again?
Sun Love.
Sun Love.
Yeah,
okay.
just my
Getting
affinity
some
for
good
the
sun
sun.
love.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shit. We're gonna have to definitely look out for that. Keep me posted. Maybe we'll get like a link up in the video or something like that, which would be
Yeah.
kind of tight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy to share a little tidbit here and there. A
So
little
what's
sample.
hell yeah? What's the genre then?
So
Did
the
it-
genre for the song is, I guess, like dance, funk.
Dance funk.
Um,
Okay. Like electronic or more instrumentation.
Yeah.
Like
It's more electronic. Like the only live instrumentation is probably like bass guitar.
okay, no actual guitar.
No, I tried to incorporate some guitar into it, but I don't know. I can't really do like chords in the song just because the song is kind of like loaded with synths and keys.
Okay, there's already enough
So,
going on. You don't want to.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it'd probably be more of like a lead kind of role if
Okay.
it was on the guitar. I've tried a couple things, but they don't really mesh that well. But maybe last minute I'll throw some stuff in there.
Do you have a countdown then? Like, what is last minute for you? You know.
Well, originally my goal was for the solstice, just because like that's the longest day of the year. You know, it seemed most appropriate. But just lately, I've been kind of just like swamped with just different projects. Just like working with Sam from Tapwater
Oh,
Media.
yeah, you guys have been doing a lot. Of work.
Yeah, we've been meeting up a lot, working on Crystal Beaches.
Which is sounding really amazing.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah,
Nice.
I mean, you guys' vocals are sounding just better and better each time I hear it.
Yes.
And then
Hell yeah.
and the instrumentation, the accompaniment, is on point.
I think it's good.
Completely on point. Yeah, yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because like we kind of just made it in one day, and we haven't really like revisited that and like changed anything. Like we kind of like set it in stone that day. So like I don't know. I'm kind of hearing things that like I would want to go back and change, but like I don't know if it's more appropriate just to move on or to go back and like kind of nitpick these kind of things.
In Crystal Beaches? Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely listen to it more. You know,
Hey.
get some criticism and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we definitely need some feedback.
Yeah, and I mean, I got to start working on more of the tap water media content that I'm on, you know,
Yeah,
so we can get that out of the way.
yeah,
I mean, I feel
definitely.
pretty good about some of the text, but for sure I could do a better vocal performance, and I want to get that out there.
Yeah, you just can't overthink it, because if you overthink it, you're just going to spend a lot of time usually just going for something you already did in the very beginning.
You mean like motif wise, or?
Yeah, based on what I've kind of noticed about like our collaborative projects is that we tend to like redo these things when they don't really need to be done, just because we're trying to
like takes themselves.
Yeah, like vocal takes specifically.
Like that take was good enough. We can mix it now. Is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Just because like it has some perfections to it, and like I feel like that kind of relates a lot to the people who listen to it. I mean, mostly just because it's really time consuming to go back and redo it, and like I feel like a lot of people are kind of unsure about like the newer takes, and like it takes them a couple days to kind of like sit in, and then they're just kind of like, oh, I need to redo it again. Whereas like I'm slowly getting to the point where it's just like if I do it and it's not good, I know right away, or if I do it and it's good, I'll kind of know.
Yeah.
But usually I'll just wait like a day, you know, just kind of find a stopping point and then resume the next day, kind of listen to it, and like if I feel really strongly that it should be rechanged or redone, you know, I'll make the necessary actions to do that. But ultimately, you just have to kind of take a step back and just you know, give it some time to breathe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree. That's your technique then for as you approach vocals?
Yes. But Sun Love is it's kind of complicated. It originally started off as like a tap water media beat.
Oh, really? One of the ones for just the monthly, weekly kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I think it was for a video game actually. Because I made it in early January.
Was it for that one that you were talking about that you might have got a contract for?
No. It was just I was trying to catch up on some of the beats.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we explain the?
Yeah.
Do you
Explain. No, I would love to explain away.
Okay. So me and Mason are part of Tapwater Media, and we kind of set up something about a year ago, a year and a couple months.
Yeah, something like that. April of last year.
Yeah, it was like a beat a day challenge. For every month, there was a designated genre, and we are all responsible for making a 4 to 8 bar loop for each day. And so I believe September was video games.
I've lost track of that, but I believe it.
Yeah, I think
and that's where you pulled it from.
September or November, yeah.
Okay.
So I was trying to catch up on some of those. I made it. I thought it was really cool, had a lot of potential, and then I just started developing it. And then it just kind of, I was at D. Lee's house, actually. I showed it to him. He really dug it, and I was kind of like messing around with the pitch shift on like the master plugin, which is like something I kind of do a lot.
Yeah, that's your go-to in a lot of ways, and it usually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
On the master faders, what you're saying, right?
Yeah, just because like I found that like if you put it, I don't know, like some songs sound cool in the original key that they're written in, but they also, some of them I feel like sound better in a different key, and so just kind of modulating the pitch can give insight to different things, and
yeah, hell yeah.
So ultimately, we were just kind of messing around with it, and then a certain someone was texting me and kind of blowing up my phone, and I was kind of just like, why are they keep texting me? And I was like, what can I do? What can I say? What can I do to make it go away? You know, and I was just kind of like trolling. You know, we just had like that 8 bar loop on repeat, and we were recording, and that was like kind of the hook. And then that just kind of stuck with me, and I was like, oh, this is kind of catchy. You know, I'm just gonna roll with this. And
that's how they start sometimes.
Yeah,
and some of the best ones too.
Yeah, and so I just made a song out of it, and like that was the hook for it. And over like the past 7 months, I've been slowly developing it. You know, I made like a bridge, made like an outro, did a bunch of vocals. You know, just added a bunch of instruments like the bass guitar. I started out with like a MIDI bass.
This is for Sunset Love.
Or
Sun Love. Yeah, Sunset, Sun Love.
And so it's just kind of developed over the course of the months. And I don't know, what really stuck out to me is Dylan has been kind of, he'll kind of like call me and just kind of like sing the hook.
Oh, nice.
And so to me,
he's a fan.
Yeah, he's a fan. So to me, that's kind of like a signal that I should keep working with it and just you know, see it to fruition.
Yeah.
And so it's getting closer and closer, man. I'm just kind of going back now and just nitpicking on certain things. and just varying the drums, like adding vocals and doing all kinds of stuff. Like it actually took me a long time to write like vocals for the bridge, and I just finally got around to it. And I'm really not to sound like decadent or self-indulgent, but I really think it sounds good, and it's got like a lot of soul in it. So I hope that like transfers over and other people are able to relate to that.
To really feel that music, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Well, I'm sure they will. What's the song about?
So
I just put your finger on it,
yeah. So the hook is pretty much, I was just kind of trolling when I made it, but it's more applicable to like a lot of things. Like, what can I do? What can I say? What can I do to make it go away? I feel like for me personally, that's more so about like different areas of life that I'm struggling in. It's just like maybe
Okay.
I'm not, maybe I'm not doing enough in certain regards, or maybe something's holding me back. It's like what can I do to overcome that? And if it's like a social thing, if it's like more pertinent to a relationship, it's like what can I say to kind of fix these problems? Because
so
talking
it can
is
encompass several things.
yeah. So originally it started off as kind of like being trolly, is like why is this person like blowing up my phone?
Just having
But,
a good time making the beat, pretty much, right?
Yeah, and then as I was kind of listening to it, it kind of took on different meanings and different forms, and that's just what I really like about lyrics. I don't want lyrics to be like verbatim. Like I feel like there's a time and place for everything, but I do enjoy the concept of of different meanings.
Yeah, being able to really apply it to multiple things.
Yeah, so it can be interpreted in a variety of different ways. But I don't know. Like I feel like some people will listen to it and think it's more of a relationship kind of thing. But I guess
people's heads are going there a lot these days.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
I guess in a nutshell, it's kind of just me just relenting on what I've done in certain circumstances and how they panned out unsuccessfully, and just I'm just kind of giving everything I got, and just like in due time I'll be able to like learn from these mistakes and just kind of figure out how to move forward. But ultimately, relating back to the title of the song, I have a huge affinity with sunsets.
Sun love.
Yeah, sun love. I really love sunsets. Like, if I could every day, I would make time to watch them, especially at like Golden Gardens, Discovery Park, like those places. And I don't know, there's just something so beautiful and inspiring about the sunset, especially because I'm more of like a night owl.
Yeah.
So the sun setting, in a sense, is kind of like me waking up. Because I feel
signifies that nighttime.
Yeah, because I feel really productive and I just feel really alive in the nighttime. I don't really know if that has anything to do with just my sleep schedule or like my circadian rhythm, but it's just really kind of significant to me.
It's the dark triad, bro.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. So yeah.
That sounds really cool. I mean, I'm very excited to hear. I don't think I've heard the song. So
I might have played it for you a little bit, but yeah. I'm always changing it, man. So
yeah, it's just ever evolving.
Yeah.
Well, when the EP comes on, so you decided on an EP, not an album. Just you wanted to have the 4 to 5 kind of range for songs.
Yeah, because I feel like in today's day and age, it's I don't know, like there's numerous ways you can kind of approach it. I feel like for me to get my my music career off the ground, it'd be better just to have maybe just a couple of really good songs, more so than like an album.
Really put that time for the quality into
it.
Yeah,
just because I feel like albums don't really weigh as much as they do today in comparison to back in the day when that was like the body of like someone's career for like a little bit.
Yeah, they'd
like,
ride on an album for maybe years.
Yeah. So I figured, what would be a better way to start off to kind of like get my career going, to release a couple of really good songs. If people really vibe with that, just put out an album or, just see how it kind of goes.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't have material for an album, but I just feel like I'm more quality over quantity.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, why not put out your best product versus like kind of spreading it out and it being mediocre to like pretty good,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not the same.
Yeah, especially because there are a lot of successful artists today who just, they just release a couple singles and that really takes them far. You know, like
millions of views. And
Yeah.
make money off that.
It's more
Easily.
digestible that way because I feel like people's attention spans are constantly diminishing.
People don't listen to albums anymore. They just don't.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So if you can just deliver smaller portions of quality work, that's more enticing than.
And something you could text a friend. Like you could
Yes.
text, oh, check out this song. It's dope. And it could be on YouTube. It could be on Spotify, Pandora, like whatever people listen on. And, you know, and it's there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Adds to the view count. Adds to the amount of money you get from that. Because from Spotify, don't you get like 4 cents? Or like some type
I
of
think it's
amount
even
of
less than that, man.
like
It's like a
0.004 of a cent.
It's like a fraction.
But
of
still,
a
I mean, you're getting something from it, and then you can leverage that that cloud, that view count to get somewhere else, like sell some shit, like a T-shirt or whatever. You know,
Yeah,
a brand.
totally.
Yeah,
Just because like I feel like it's more effective because more people are bound to listen to one song repeatedly than like a whole album.
yeah.
Not to say, because I know there are a good amount of people out there who just love to listen to the album beginning to end.
Yeah.
And, like that's the epitome of what an album is, kind of.
I feel like you're right though. There's people who don't do that as much. I mean, I used to
No.
do that a lot more, and I don't really do that at all. I just kind of pick a couple songs that I like, and if they're on the same album, so be it. But usually
Yeah.
it's a variety of different albums, different artists. It's not the same 12 to like 20 songs, you know.
Yeah, just because I don't know, it's really hard to kind of create an album where every song is really good, and a lot of people really enjoy every song. It's just kind of, it's just like striving to perfection. Not to say
Yeah.
that it can't be done and that it hasn't been done, but it's really hard to do that. And so to kind of minimize the work for that, you could just do all of that and condense it into just one song.
Yeah, and it's more
Or a
like a
couple
product
songs.
based that way. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
you're making like a story sometimes. You know, with albums, it's like a whole thing. And there's like skits and in between parts, and people might not want to listen to those 30-second clips of something. They just want to hear
Yeah.
the songs. 4 to
Mhm.
5 songs on EP, way better.
Yeah, it's a lot more, like I said, digestible that
Yeah.
way.
More concise, more to the point for
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
totally.
You got any other projects that you're working on?
Yeah, so I'm working on that song. Also a couple other songs that I would love to throw on my EP. But I don't know, honestly, man, like I just really enjoy making music. I don't spend a whole lot of time conceptualizing, like a theme of like an EP or an album. I just kind of make music according to like how I feel, and like it's more of a time and place kind of thing.
Each
So-
song is its own. It just kind of comes in
Exactly.
the moment and develops over time. Basically.
Exactly. I don't really have like a set theme to kind of tie everything together. It's more so like, hey, these are a lot of these are some songs I spend a lot of quality time on that mean a lot to me. You know, I kind of would like for someone to interpret the music in their own sense. You know, find their own meanings and like their own relations through that, and then maybe they could tie everything together. But yeah, besides that, I do a lot of collaborative work with like you,
Mhm.
and, the other members of Tapwater Media.
Yep. Alex, Sam,
Yeah, speaking of Sam, me and him had 2 songs that we're working on currently.
Crystal Beaches.
Crystal Beaches and Go Together.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, that also started off as a Tapwater Media song.
Mhm.
Or how would you call it?
I mean, it was kind of like a group thing, but it was more just you and Sam, and you guys like it. It was kind of some space here if you guys want to throw something on,
Yeah.
And we just didn't really jump on that, so.
No, it was more of a timed beat kind of thing. So what we do a lot is when we all get together, we'll set like
Beat off.
15. Yeah, we call it a beat off, but we're trying to think of a better title for that.
No, it's
term.
fucking hilarious though. We got to keep that name.
It
Come on,
is fu-
beat
it-
off like that. It's too funny.
Okay, yeah, it is funny, but anyway, so we'll set aside 15 minutes to compose a beat. We usually set like a couple rules regarding the just like the genre or like the restrictions, if you will, parameters.
Mhm.
And so I believe it was no more than 10 tracks. One of the tracks had to be the classic electric piano, which for those who may not know is the default software instrument in Logic or GarageBand. And so we spent 15 minutes composing. Then we spent, I think it was 10 minutes arranging.
Yeah, okay, that sounds right.
Yeah, so we did that at Alex's place, and I just remember making the beat that I didn't think it was that good. Like I was like, man, this is like
It's
one
a
of
throwaway beat.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
man, this is like one of the most trash beats I've made in like a
Damn.
long time. No,
Okay.
I was hitting myself pretty hard. But then we all got together and we played them off, and all of them were really good. Like, I was really impressed by like what everybody did. And then I went to go play my beat, and Sam just kind of identified with it right away.
Mhm.
He was really
Definitely a style.
yeah, he was inspired by it, and he just started. I remember he asked me if he could like write lyrics and sing to it, and I was
I
like,
think I remember that.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, go for it, man. Like, I don't care, you know, because like I was still kind of a little self-disparaging about it, because I was like, like, you know, it's all right, but he really messed with it, and so he wrote lyrics to it, and we got together and kind of mapped it out a little bit. Like, it was a little bit repetitive, but we just kind of just added different instruments in various places, kind of like took things away,
Mm-hmm.
you know, tried
Yeah.
to develop a song structure for it, and I don't know, it was.
How did you guys go about like mapping it out, developing the song structure?
So generally speaking, I kind of just like introducing a couple things in the beginning, and then just kind of introducing more elements like every 4 or 8 bars, or whenever I think is appropriate.
Instrumental elements.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Like, for example, maybe like an accompanying synth part that's doing the same thing as the piano, but it just kind of adds like a different texture, like a different flavor or sound to it.
Okay.
And then
Ornamentation.
yeah, and then I had like a programmed drum beat that I had for it originally, but I also found this one software instrument that if you just hit like a note, it would just play a beat, and it would just keep going.
Okay, so
And
like
so-
kind of like a beat arpeggiator in a way.
Yeah, it just kind of just had this beat already programmed into it, and so I just kind of pressed the button, let it do its thing, and then just kind of like automated it to like bring it in and out, because it was more of like a volume thing.
Okay.
And so that's how we just kind of approached the structure of it. And yeah, Sam had some lyrics, so we just kind of put them down. It really kind of moved me, because it was very soulful. You know, it was like very honest, like very authentic.
Mm.
And yeah, I remember we spent like maybe 4 hours just like tracking all of his vocals and just like experimenting with.
Damn. Was that
Different
through
ideas.
Alex's mic or
Yeah, that was that was in Alex's room with his mic.
was I there? I can't remember.
No, I think
I had left by then, right?
no,
maybe
I
it was
think
a
it was.
different
Yeah, I think it was a different day. I think it was like a Saturday, and yeah, so he did some vocals for it, and I really like this hook. You know, the hook of the song is "Go Together,"
Mhm.
and it's kind of just like reframing that part of the song. And closer to the end of the session, I was just kind of trolling. You know, I was just like. You know, I was like, girl, we belong together. We could be forever.
Hey.
You know, just kind of like my inner Bee Gees. And I don't know. I really liked it. Like, I listened to it later on. And I was
So
like,
you'll
oh,
listen,
this is
you'll
cool.
you'll do something, think it's corny, and then like later you're like, oh, that's actually not that bad.
Yeah, I'm slowly kind of finding out that like these
Wow.
ideas aren't really that bad.
You're just too harsh on yourself, basically.
Yeah, you could say so.
Well,
It's-
sometimes corny is honest, you know. Corny is
It is
more
honest.
real and down to earth.
It is very honest. And so I did that, and then I was kind of listening to it, and then I kind of did some backing vocals to complement Sam's original hook for Go Together. And so then I took it home to my studio and just did some more vocals to it, and you know, spent a couple hours just tracking and experimenting with things. And then I showed it to Sam and the rest of the guys the next day, and they were just really impressed with it. And you could tell it kind of like further inspired them to want to do more.
Yeah, those harmonies and the doubling, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
No, thank you, man.
Yeah, bro.
I
was quite impressed.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
mean, not like I'm not always impressed by the music you guys come out with, but I was like, wow,
It was more profound.
this is yes, it was much more profound.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it.
I mean, that's all I really want, man. I just want to just put down some really good stuff that's like honest, that sounds good, that other people can enjoy and kind of relate to. And that one's kind of like a work in progress. Like, we haven't really worked on that one as much, but
Just in the past couple weeks, pretty much.
yeah, mostly Crystal Beaches as of the past couple weeks.
Yeah, you guys have been shuffling that along, getting that closer to being finished.
Yeah, because originally so a brief history on that is me and Sam got together one day, and my good friend Wayne was there from Shoreline.
Mhm. He's a DJ, right?
Yeah, DJ.
Where's he DJ? Is he still at the same place? Or?
No, what do you mean the same place?
Wasn't he? He was working with some company, I think. Wasn't he? Like as a DJ, or like at a station.
He kind of
What
helps
did
like
he do?
set up.
Private? I couldn't remember. I was just trying to give a plug on him, you know. But,
Yeah. He kind of helps set up the stage for like bands and stuff.
Okay, so he does live audio.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he came over and we were just hanging out, just making a beat, and you know, we were having trouble just finding an idea. And I remember Sam got up and played like some chords, And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And so I went up and just kind of just did what he did and just kind of expanded upon it and just made like a 4-chord progression and then just like layered a bunch of synths on top of that, just to kind of like flesh it out. And Sam took charge of like the percussion and like the drum beat and just really kind of like added onto like my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And before we knew it, we had a song. And we were just kind of just like mapping it out.
Wayne was just chilling with you guys.
He was hanging out, but he was also responsible for like some of the drops. Like it was his idea. So Wayne comes from like an EDM kind of background.
Okay.
So he's more familiar with like beat drops and like beat swells and just that kind
transitional
of
things.
Dynamics. Yeah.
Dynamics. Okay.
And so he had some really cool suggestions that made it into the song and really kind of helped shape what it is now. And so, yeah, it was really cool. It was just like us three, and then we were doing it at Taylor and Alex's place.
That's where we
And so, yeah, and so in Taylor's studio.
Okay,
and
yeah.
so,
those are some nice eights. No, what are they called? They're eights. They're Yamaha eights. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was there. It was like us four, and then Jay Walton and D. Lee came by, and I think D. Lee got really inspired by it as well. He just kind of heard it, and it just kind of like set a flame within him. He's like, yeah, I want to be a part of this song.
He's definitely a really good cheerleader.
Yeah, he really is.
He's very enthusiastic. I appreciate that a lot,
Yeah, he's just full of character.
Shout out to D. Lee.
Yeah, shout out D. Lee. And so speaking of D. Lee, so originally me and Sam made the song. We worked on it. Sam had a melody right then and there. And he kind of like
melody.
Yeah, he kind of like set it down, and he just had like all these harmonies, like falsettos, like lower vocals and stuff. And I just
got a lot up there when it comes to that kind of stuff, the leads and melodies.
Yeah, just by working with Sam, I've kind of, just kind of noticed that he likes to do a lot of vocal layering, like a lot of vocal stacking, a lot of emphasis, emphasizing on like certain phrases, just to kind of make him that much more powerful. He's more of like an ensemble vocalist. Like he's not really a fan of just doing like a couple vocal tracks. Like he likes the big choir kind of sound.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes to really, like you said, emphasize certain key parts of the song to really utilize it fully.
Yeah, so we did some of that, and then I came up with the hook. I don't really know where it came from, but it's like downtown with my Italian honey. Just because I'm really fascinated with Italian culture, Italian food. I think Italian people are really cool.
You're Italian?
No, I'm not Italian.
You just want to like visit there and like Italian stuff?
Yeah,
Italy's great, man.
Yeah, dude, we're going in.
No,
we're going on our Euro trip.
Hell yeah! Are you guys gonna do the whole north to the south, or just like a certain area?
So we're just gonna do like London, Prague, Czech Republic, Italy for a couple weeks, Palermo specifically, Barcelona, Spain.
Okay.
So a lot of Mediterranean stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just really love Italian women. Maybe one day I'll get to.
There's a lot of beautiful Italian women out there.
I'll be fortunate enough to marry one, and this is kind of my gift, to the Italian women community.
Just that appreciation, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just show some love for them.
It's good. That's the good stuff, man. Culture. Yeah.
So unlike Sam's lyrics are very intentional and like purposeful. My hook is kind of like abstract. But my hook is like a 8-bar phrase. And so it's like downtown with my Italian honey, just like me and my Italian girl just hanging out downtown, enjoying the scenery.
Painting a scene, painting a picture.
Yeah, and then conversely, it's just like when me and my boys are together, like we always have a good time.
Hell yeah.
Come along for the good ride. It leaves now. It's like come on for the party. We're not gonna wait. Like it's right now.
It's live, bro.
Yeah. And then again, downtown with my Italian honey. Keep it strong. No, you're not alone. Just to those people out there who just need some people to kind of, because I feel like Seattle's a pretty lonely place for a lot of people, and
it's the lack of sun. People need more vitamin D.
Hence, sun love, man.
Yeah, and hence us being out here for this podcast outside.
Going full circle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then like the last couple phrases, I incorporated the concept of crystal beaches, which there's no like specific or intentional like lyricism or meaning for that. It was just kind of just like something we came up with because it just had like this beach kind of vibe to it.
For the song Crystal Beaches.
Yeah, it just sounds like the kind of song you just like listen to on the beach. Maybe specifically towards sunset. It's like it's very serene. You're just good vibes only.
Mm-hmm.
You got your girl, you got your boys.
Italian
having a good
honey,
time.
kicking it with the guys. Yeah.
And I don't know, like some of the synths to me just had a very crystalline kind of sound, and so I think it was me, or I think it was I can't remember who came up with it, but I was like, oh, Crystal Beach, and like everyone kind of like dug it, and so that was kind of the name.
Yeah, you come up with some pretty cool titles, man.
I mean, you do too, but thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say Sam definitely tops the lyrics and right now, in my opinion. Like the stuff that I've heard from him, I think it was on Go Together.
Yeah,
maybe.
go together.
And it might have been on Crystal Beaches too. And I was like, wow, that's really good lyricism.
Yeah, he's a very powerful lyricist. Like I said, he's very intentional, purposeful,
very well
meaningful.
thought out. Very well thought out.
Yeah, he'll just kind of get it, and like everything clicks. It's just a matter of kind of orchestrating it, just kind of working it out. He's got all these ideas. He just needs maybe a little bit of guidance to vocally match what he has.
Yeah, and he's been working on his performance, and it's been getting better, like over the years. Like, definitely a lot. And I mean, yours has improved phenomenally, especially just within the past few months.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Exponential, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, because Sam 6 months ago wasn't a vocalist, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It all goes back to late January. We had a house show at Alex Miles's house. Just kind of showcase some of our music, some of our friends, very local event. And after kind of having our own mix that we kind of DJ'd, I suggested the idea that maybe we should take it to the main stage and do some of these songs live. And Sam was he wasn't very against it, but he wasn't like for the idea because he wanted to kind of remain behind the scenes, just do some kind of
keyboard lead stuff.
Yeah, he didn't really want to be in the spotlight, especially when it comes to vocals, because at that time, most of the vocals on our collaborative songs were just me, Mason, and Alex, or you, me, and Alex.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until, I remember specifically, we had a meeting, and he was like, "No, I'm not about it. I'm not a vocalist. I'm not a singer. I'm not doing it." And so I was kind of upset at the time. I was like, "Man, don't be so closed-minded. You don't know what's going to happen." And then I think it was Playing with Matches. Yeah, it was Playing with Matches.
You started singing on that
Either February, I think it was March, when it was your spring break.
Yeah, I think that was when it was. And yeah, we just got him on there.
Yeah.
Mason to get it.
Yeah, we just all got together. We were all hanging out because Mason was back in Seattle.
Taking a little staycation.
Yeah, we were just hanging out, just having a good time. And then we just kind of came up with the bridge part for Playing with Matches. Just because the song is pretty straightforward. Like, there's not a lot of... Not that there's not a lot of complexity, but it's just kind of just like everyone has a verse, and then I have a hook. And then
it is most of this. It's the same beat the whole time, isn't it?
Yeah, we were just trying to find another way to spice it up, and I believe it was like Alex who kind of took that on.
Yeah, he spearheaded that.
Yeah, he spearheaded it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
and then I guess that kind of like motivated and inspired Sam. And again, like Sam's a really good lyricist. He kind of hopped on it, and that just kind of domino affected me and you, and we just kind of had some lyrics.
Inspired, yeah.
Yeah, and so I actually kind of like stole his vocal motif a little bit, and so
you had your own flair to it,
Yeah, I was inspired by it. I couldn't help it, and so that was kind of the first time he started doing vocals, and I think he was really impressed with the results, and we all kind of like helped and supported each other.
Yeah,
and encouraging each
really
other to
important for this kind of music collaboration, especially with 4 people.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, just because we all made beats, we all played instruments together. Most of us sang except for him, so it's like, why not just fill that out real quick and have him sing?
Yeah, and he did a great job.
Yeah, and then ever since then, he's been singing. He's been getting more and more confident, and he's got some really good ideas. So I think it's really funny to kind of look back in retrospect and hear him talk about how he has no intention.
He's like, nah,
very hesitant about that. Now he's like, yo, I got some lyrics. I'm trying to put down some vocals. Now, he's getting his microphone actually comes in today.
Really?
Yeah, he ordered a microphone so he
a week ago or something, right?
Yeah, just so. Well, no. He ordered it earlier this week, and I think it came in the mail today.
Did he? What did he get?
I believe it was the 2040.
2040? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he asked me, and I was just looking at the frequency response curves of some of the ones that I Googled, and I was like, oh, That's why I like this one, the AT4050, because it has a fairly flat frequency response, and it's able to just, I don't know, represent the frequency well, and you can EQ it and just make it sound better. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Kyle actually has the same mic, and so it was interesting.
This or the 2040?
The 2040, the one
Okay.
that Sam just got, because we actually did vocals a couple days ago, and I brought that mic over. So I thought it was like a cool showcase to kind of show to him. It's like, hey, this is the mic that you're getting.
That's what it sounds
you
like.
know, mess with it, get a feel for it, because this is what you ordered. And so I think he really liked it. You know, we got some really good takes out of it. But yeah, 6 months ago he's like, nah, vocals, me, nah.
Not gonna happen.
Now he's like, yeah, dude, I do vocals in my room all the time now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's like a lot freer to experiment with that kind of stuff, which is nice because all of us except for him had our own microphone to practice with.
Yeah.
Except for Alex until like, I think it was November, maybe December.
He's had it for that long, huh?
Oh, he's had it for a little while, but not terribly long.
It's like 6, 7, 8 months.
Something like that. I can't remember exactly when he got it. But yeah, Alex got a mic. You have a mic. I have a couple mics at home. So we've all been kind of experimenting with vocals. And now it's coming full circle with Sam having his own. Mm-hmm. So now he can invite people to do vocals at his place, which is really cool. Because,
and he has the speakers too.
Yeah, because the cool thing about what we do is that we have multiple kind of project studios, or just like home studios that we can just kind of like bounce to and just do different stuff in.
Makes it really easy. Because sometimes it might be noisier in, Alex's place because he has 3 rooms?
No, only 2.
Okay, yeah, 2 roommates, so like, and you have roommates, so it's just important to be able to like have different places to have the studio session at mix, especially for especially for recording, but also mixing, because you don't want it to hear some random noise and then mix your stuff wrong. So yeah.
No, it's kind of funny too, because at Alex's house they have 2 studios. So for the longest time we would do stuff in Taylor's studio, and then Alex got his mic down into his room, and he's like, hey, we can do vocals down here now. So like we have
2 in one place.
Yeah, and he has your speakers, so we can use those for playback.
Yeah,
just mixing and stuff.
And once I get the sub, then it'll be on.
That'll change the game.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bust out my my PA system at some point, and we'll be able to use that for live shows instead of depending on Lovely for her speakers, which are really nice.
It's very lovely of her to do that.
It's very lovely of her to do that. They're what are they? Are they JBLs? I can't remember. Maybe they were Yamahas. I feel like they were Yamahas.
I want to say Yamaha, but honestly, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
When was the last time you used those prior to the house show?
Mine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't even use them at the house show. I've only used them.
We didn't use them at UV's?
No, that was Lovely's system. Or is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, sorry, you just said that. Because I thought you were gonna bring them, but I wasn't 100% sure if you did in the end.
Nope.
Okay.
No. Yeah. And then like the other house show, we just used normal monitors, which I thought sounded pretty good with the KRKs and the Yamahas.
Yeah. Because we had 2 pairs, right? We had.
I think we ended up using. We turned one of them off for a little bit, and we kind of switched back and forth depending on what we were having, live music versus beats, I think.
Yeah, because I think we had all 4 of them set up, and then...
Oh, you made it aggregate.
Yeah, and then when Zach came in for his setup, we had to sacrifice to the cables.
Right, yeah, that got really complicated really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be more... firm about like our dates and times, but that's just learning planning. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
It wasn't our fault, but
no, it wasn't our fault.
It was kind of unavoidable. But
yeah, maybe if I had been a little bit less tipsy, I might have been a little bit more assertive. But I was kind of being a wuss.
No, I don't even think it was that. It was just a planning thing.
Yeah,
they were supposed to get there the day before, and they were actually late.
Yeah,
they didn't get there until like after
that was really exacerbating.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So back to the stuff, collaborative stuff. So me and Sam are doing Crystal Beaches and Go Together. I have my own stuff I'm working on, and then me and D Lee actually have a couple songs that we're working on, and that even
I didn't know about that. When did that start? Really recently?
That's the thing, man. It just kind of happens. Like we'll just be together and.
Why haven't I heard this stuff? Where's it at? Why are you holding out on me, bro?
You have heard this stuff, man.
Okay.
Like Bose Wave,
Yeah.
Or both ways.
You guys made it one of those.
Well,
titles.
yeah, you were there.
Yeah, but I haven't heard like the new stuff you've been working on.
We haven't really done that much to it, but we have more of like a live instrumental kind of set that we haven't done in a while called Siami. And
I know that name.
Yes,
No.
I know you know that.
Yeah.
I would hope that you know that. Anyways, so I play drums for that. He plays guitar. He pretty much kind of spearheads it. It just started off as just like us jamming every Friday, and he really gets off to that. And I just really enjoy playing the drums, first of all, and then just playing with other people. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of beneficial for us in a lot of ways, but we haven't really definitively done anything for that. Like, we have some songs, but we just have to come back to them and kind of like work it out and figure out what works and what doesn't work.
So do they start with just a jam and then it turns into a song?
Or? Yeah, sometimes it's just a jam.
You gotta send me more than those phone recordings. It's not enough because I have to keep like like the screen dies. You know what I mean? And then you have to start back over. Yeah.
Okay.
Email those to me or something.
Yeah, Google Drive stuff because
yeah.
Back when we used to do that a lot, I would record it. I would set up microphones and record the drums, record the guitar. He also has like an 8-track Tascam recorder.
Okay,
so
yeah.
he would also
2-track, but
oh really?
Yeah.
How did you like that?
I liked it a lot until it died, and I think it wasn't even that. It was like the driver. They just stopped supporting it, and there wasn't any other driver. So I was like, oh well, I guess it's done now.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, D-Lee really enjoys it. I think it's got like a lot of personal value for him because D-Lee is from, or Dylan Lee. We just call him D-Lee. But he's from the East Coast. Me and him are both from Raleigh, North Carolina, where we originally met. I came out here in 2015. He drove his truck all the way out here in 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Wild adventure.
Yeah, and so
it's only been 2 years that he's been.
It's been a wild ride, man. Dang. So he brought his Tascam out here, and that was his only recording device or recording medium. Like, he could record onto his phone, but it's so limited what you can do on your phone unless you have like GarageBand or a software that gives you the option to kind of like edit, EQ, like process, like add reverb.
Even then, on a touchscreen that small, it's pretty limited.
Yeah, so he has his Tascam and he can record into it and mix it pretty much in there. So he had been kind of like messing around with that, and so it's just got like a special place in his heart, you know. So he would set that up as like a room mic. Okay. And so what we used to do is like we would jam and then we would record everything. Like, we were always really anal about doing that, and then we'd chop it up and we'd send it to each other, and like we'd always get really like excited to go back and listen to it because you know there's just so much going on like in the moment. It's really hard to be accountable for all this. Not to be accountable, but to be conscientious of like everything going on all the time. So we would record it and then just listen back to it, and we're just kind of like, whoa, like that was really cool. Or like, like that wasn't like that cool. Like, let's not
breaking
do that.
Down the takes and the way that you're doing it. So you just had a room mic and nothing else. There wasn't any special inputs.
Sometimes it was just his Tascam. A good amount of the time, I would always like to set the drum mics up. Like, I would have a mic on the kick, you know, a mic on the snare, a couple overheads. I would try and keep it somewhat simple.
Tracks.
Yeah, several tracks. Like, sometimes I would go the extra mile and set up like snare bottom, snare top, you know, like overheads, kick in, kick out. Maybe do like a room mic. It just depends on how much time I had to kind of set up and prepare for that. And recently, we haven't
take a while to set up drums, for sure.
Well, no, the drums were set up. It was just setting up the mics for the drums and then just routing everything.
Yeah, well, that can take a while, too.
Yeah. So we have a couple of songs in there. Like, we have one song called Caramel Penguin. It's kind of like, it's a placeholder name, but it's kind of like a little funky
It's a cool name.
Yeah. I'm not sure when that'll be done. It's kind of just like a last-minute kind of project. Like, we were just in the studio one day, and we were just like,
How recently?
It was conceived in February.
Okay, so it's been a while.
Yeah, it started off with me just kind of playing like some funky stuff on the guitar, and then he kind of picked up the bass and did some bass licks, and then I was kind of like, that's cool, but I think it could be better. Mm-hmm. So I kind of learned his bass part and kind of like improved upon it, added some drums, and then he did some vocals, and I think it'll be really cool. It's like our first like acoustic composition.
You mean like all real instruments? You
Yes.
mean like actual? Okay,
All
electric
real
guitar or
electric guitar,
Okay.
electric bass, drum set.
this is Xiaomi.
Uh,
This is just DV and GR.
yeah. I wouldn't say Xiaomi just because he's not really playing anything besides the bass.
Okay,
Because
so Xiaomi is more just that jamming kind of thing that you guys do.
yeah, I think to define Xiaomi, it's more so his ideas on the guitar and me playing the drums and kind of doing my thing. And those two elements kind of make
That's
Xiaomi.
really interesting. So
So he kind of like fronts the project.
like explain like what are all the things? Do you guys do open mics and shows, or is it just you guys just jamming, you playing the drums and him noodling away on the guitar and stuff like that?
Yeah. So he wants to take it to the stage. He wants to do open mics. We've just had some trouble just bringing the drum set, just because it takes a lot of work to kind of bring the kit
For just two
to
people
set it
to
up.
do.
Yeah, and just to play it for a couple of songs. So I'm really anal about just getting these songs really well done, so that like we don't even have to worry about the performance. We just focus. We shouldn't really have to worry about anything, but it's more so just
You
finding.
want it to be really smooth.
Yeah,
Everything
just finding a
right.
place where we can just set up, not have a lot of trouble setting up the drums, not have a whole lot of trouble setting up the guitar, and just be able to play. But on top of that, it's just like most of these songs are kind of like jammy, which is cool. There are definitely a lot of venues that kind of allow for that. But I just, all I could ask for is just a little bit more definition in the song, so that we've
More
worked
clarity,
out.
kind of.
Yes,
Yeah,
so that
makes
we've worked
sense.
out all the kinks.
You don't want to just fumble on the live
No.
and just be like, oh, where are we at in the song? What is the song? Like,
No, because
kind of
I think that's like very.
it's unprofessional.
It's unprofessional.
And
yeah.
I mean, like if I went to an open mic, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. These are guys like the stand-up comedy guys that come to open mics and are
Yeah.
practicing their skills, you know?
Yeah, because my whole thing is like we spend so much time independently, collaboratively making music that I feel like we don't really have the time to make mistakes. Just because we spend so much time working on these things that like we should be at the point where we can just play these things somewhat flawlessly, and
Yeah.
that's a high
Yeah.
standard to hold ourselves accountable to. But it seems like everybody wants to set that standard for themselves and for us as a group. So I try really hard to kind of realize that.
It should be at a commercial standard,
Exactly.
regardless. And the commercial standard doesn't care about our feelings or what we think is good.
Yeah, like
It's
I
just
want our
one
music.
standard.
Yeah, I want our music to be taken seriously. Like
Yeah.
I want people to listen to us and be like, "Wow, these guys are really good." Like
Yeah,
I
why
don't-
put the effort in otherwise?
Yeah,
Because I mean,
exactly.
unless you're just doing it as a hobby for fun, and clearly you're not, and I'm not either. You know, I want to make money just selling instrumentals and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and you want to make money doing that, and also all this other sound stuff that you're doing, like
Yeah.
EP, Xiaomi,
Tap water.
Media, all the other projects that you have going on and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. So I, along with D-Lee, we have a high standard for it. And
Good.
so we're just working, and just practicing on it. And I think actually, when he comes back, a week from today, actually,
He's still in Raleigh.
yes, he'll be back on the 9th. or
Am I
the
saying that
10th.
right? Raleigh?
Raleigh?
Yeah.
Raleigh?
Raleigh? Okay.
Raleigh, like D-Lee? Raleigh?
Yeah.
Raleigh?
I always say it
No,
wrong.
people
I
say
always
it like that.
wrong. Yeah, every time.
So I think when he gets back, we want to do more open mics, but I think we'll do more of the songs like Crystal Beaches and
Stuff that's more composed at this point.
yeah, just kind of work out a set list kind of like that. Just because my whole thing is just like if we can just get a couple songs, down, done, finished, complete, mixed and everything, take it to the stage, get some experience out on the live stage, just kind of feel it out.
Yeah.
That we can slowly start doing more and more and more. And I think D-Lee's house show is actually a really good showcase for.
I thought it was great. I mean, he put that together so well, just like organizing that, and I mean, everyone else that contributed to that. I'm not sure the inner workings of it too much, but
Yeah.
it was really, really lit. It was live. It was,
Yeah.
it was going on.
I mean, there was a lot of work put into it, and I remember D-Lee was always like talking about it. He was like, "Oh, what about the house show? We got the house show coming up. It's gonna be dope." I figured it would be pretty fun. I didn't know how it was gonna turn out. Like, I'm not
Neither
gonna.
did I. I had no idea. I wasn't hesitant. I was going no matter what, but I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it could be a hit or miss. It could be a total bust.
Yeah,
Could be like mediocre, cool. Or I didn't
Yeah.
expect it to be as crazy and
crazy
like
as it was.
it's fucking awesome. Everyone was having a great time.
yeah. Like, I never really doubted it, but I was just kind of just like, yeah, you're doing a house show. Like everybody in Seattle does a house show. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. And then it came time for the house show, and it really just kind of blew everyone away. But back to playing live,
mm-hmm.
I think that was a really good showcase and a really good example of stuff we could even do at home, just like those kind of shows. And so ultimately, what I'm trying to say,
when you say do them at home, what do you mean?
It's just like I feel like we're slowly getting to the point where like we can go out to open mics, do a couple songs, maybe get a couple shows, and we can even do house shows at our own houses.
True.
Just kind of maximize the potential in the possibilities.
Do it as much as possible, just like any other job that you do. You're just always working.
Exactly. And then, so we're kind of working on that, and then it's not complex, but it's just like me and him also work on stuff with like you and like Alex. Like me and Alex have a song called Chem Dog.
Yeah,
which is named which is named after a strain of weed that we had one time.
Kush.
Yeah, it was really good. It's really profound to
earn
the title of a song.
Hell yeah!
But so that was another song that me and Alex started, and then I think D-Lee started rapping on that. So through that, he's kind of associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see. I think that's like everything.
Yeah, you got a lot of projects going on. A lot of projects. I don't know how you're juggling them all, but
it's not easy.
And then with work too. I mean, that must be wild. But
yeah, it really is, man.
That's some good stuff, though. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast onto the Mind Leak Frequency. This is the #1 episode right here.
Episode 1, baby.
We got Griffin Ryden with that upcoming EP.
Sun Love.
Sunset
Affinities.
Sunset Affinities. Is it Sunset Affinity?
Affinities.
Sunset Affinities, the name of the EP coming out around summer, maybe end of summer. Sun Love is the name of the single that's the most important on that EP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for being on here.
Yeah.